Welcome, episode 3. Checked out Retail Stories podcast with the Sprankle brothers. I'm Ryan. Doug.
Hi, everybody.
1980 born, 1986 born. Somehow we're here for episode 3, which is good because we have chosen to be in a retail area, in a retail part of the country, in an industry with higher costs, lower margins, and 5% fewer of us every single year. Somehow we've signed up for this, so we need the viewers to keep viewing this so that we have a plan B. No, just kidding. We got
We're out. We're out, guys.
We got a plan A, but here we are from Central PA roots to here, and it's just cool. Episode 3, I think the first 2 episodes went pretty good. Told some funny stories. Got to hang out a little bit. Got to get some stuff off our chest.
Learned a lot about retail history and retail in general, and obviously the goods, the bads, and the real uglies. But excited today. A couple of things we're going to touch on. The fact that the grocery market continues to change, and we continue to see the market developing, and new competitors come in, and old competitors go away. But a lot going on with that. In retail, great partners were vital to success. A big thanks to our headline sponsor, PASkillalliance.org. Start your road to winning today by going to PASkillalliance.org. And remember, guys, it's skill, not luck.
Skill, not luck, baby. Doug, do you remember? We like to tell the viewers a little bit about ourselves. For people that don't know us, for people that haven't followed the path. 1980s, Central Pennsylvania. There wasn't a lot happening. I always joke around that if you lived in Central PA versus Western and Eastern PA, you got everything about 5 years later. I mean, seriously.
Well,
I mean, like if Bon Jovi had a hit in 1982, in 1985, 86, it would start being played in Central PA. I mean, we're very proud of where we came from, but it was just a little different, a little slower action than in Western PA and especially Eastern PA. And one of the things I remember was in Central PA at the time, there were still these really small stores. And one of the, I'm talking like small grocery store. I'm talking like you thought it was a house. And there was one of those by Grandma and Pap's farm about maybe, it was enough you had to have an adult or an older, like somebody in their teens walk you there. But I remember they used to sell penny candy. I mean, they had a little bit of bread, a little bit of milk. Like I'm talking like it was like a room. And they had penny candy. I used to look so excited. For $1, you could get 100 pieces of candy. That tells you how old I am. But do you remember that at all? You might have been little.
I don't remember any of that.
Yeah, that's 80s kid blues right here.
Yeah. I'm glad it's a foundation core memory for you. But yeah, no, I remember just the horse stories, the butcher shop, and going to Uncle Junior's every once in a while and watching him shoot deer off the side of the hill.
Yeah. No. Central PA is an interesting place to grow up. But the thing that strikes me, I was thinking about this today because we were talking about the intro and we were talking about how there's fewer and fewer grocers every year. And we're going to talk about some of the ways that we're combating that, some of the ways that we've stayed alive, some of the ways, some of our mindset to how we're staying viable. We joke around about, being dinosaur stuff, but in reality, we've been innovators and we've tried to stay on the top of the trends. And that's why we're still here talking about it today. We're going to talk about some of the things you're working on. But what I was thinking about with that is you had this at that point, this small in somebody's house, basically distribution center that you couldn't even tell was a convenience store was able to operate. That same store would not be able to operate today because each year all the overhead goes up, all the electric bills, all the insurances, all that kind of stuff goes up every single year. Wages go up every single year. Costs of goods go up every single year. But you can't just charge a crazy amount of price. There's so much competition. So over the years, we've seen it since we were little kids in Central PA. Every year, it's like that Mendoza line. It's like almost like a wave coming. And if you're too small, that wave's going to crush you. And we've seen it with our own stores. Some of the smaller volume stores in the past we've had to close. They've gone up and up and up. And now it's to the point that our stores that are doing volumes that we would have thought is unbelievable 10, 15 years ago, now that's what it takes. So, you've seen it too, and you see how it works every year. And it's interesting to look back and see the evolution of how it came about and how we are to the retail part we are now with, the corporations taking over more and more because they're the only ones that can absorb these big costs, unless you think outside the box and unless you evolve your operations.
Well, like you said, I mean, there's a lot of things changing, but it's funny. There's an old saying where if you want to learn something new, read an old book. And, I was reading some old books and I didn't realize there's a small grocery chain that most of the people over the age of 50 remember.
Is this week in history?
This week in
History! Doug!
Woo! Woo!
Remember the thrill of your first childhood game, maybe tic-tac-toe? Genuine Pennsylvania Skill Games recaptures that excitement, offering easy-to-play, win-every-time experiences at your favorite local spots. Imagine a game where a little skill consistently turns credits into cash prizes. A game you can enjoy with others and even help them win. No need to just imagine. Genuine Pennsylvania Skill Games, championed by the PA Skill Alliance, are real. Go to paskillalliance.org for more information.
Guys, super excited. So, Ryan, you've heard of the old company called A&P, correct?
The old Atlantic and Pacific Company, right? Wasn't that what it was called? Atlantic and Pacific?
Pacific Tea Company.
I was close.
You're close, though.
Atlantic and Pacific Tea Company. Yeah, I mean, anybody in retail, they literally were the OGs.
No, they were the OGs, and they were founded in 1859.
Pre-Civil War.
Pre-Civil War.
Wow.
They had over 16,000 stores.
How could you keep a network of 16,000 stores going before?
Faxes.
I mean, phones were really just starting.
Yeah, phones were around, but yeah, they had fax machines, email.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but they had so many stores. In perspective, Walmart only has 4,600.
4 automobiles. Wait, how many does Walmart have?
4,600.
And they had 16,000?
16,000. They
Unbelievable.
were so big. They were trend setting a lot of things. Have you heard of the you can check out, there's all those little rag magazines. They're still popular. Like, guess what so-and-so did? Guess who stole from Saks Fifth Avenue? Like all those fun stories.
Yeah, what do they call those? The tabloids.
Tabloids. It's a good call. Women's Day was founded by A&P. Another small company, 8 O'Clock Coffee, was founded by A&P. It was their private label brand.
Wow.
And this is crazy. They're the first ones to think, hey, you know what, private label's a thing. Let's take the spices and baking stuff, the high volume items, and let's put our name on it so we can sell it without having to pay the branding deals.
Geniuses.
Geniuses.
We're still trying to figure that out today.
Right. And they're just so big. Like, people don't realize what kind of weight they had. They had literally their own fishing fleet because they realized there was more savings if they could control the dock, the hoy to the store. So they basically created all this stuff. They got so big, they were targeted for antitrust. And people talk about like Walmart, how Walmart is like that,
Yeah.
or Dollar General, along those lines.
Amazon, yeah.
Yeah, these guys were the OGs of all this, and they survived to this week in 2010. December 12th was when the last AP closed.
Wait, they were around that long till 2010.
Yep.
I didn't realize they lasted that long.
Yeah.
You know, our Katanning store was an A&P. They started our Katanning Sprankles, Katanning, Pennsylvania Sprankles, 10,000 square foot store. It's still the original size. It's still the original. Well, not quite. It was a little bit of an addition, but it's pretty much the original box because of the flood zone and flood regulations, flood insurance, all that kind of stuff. But in 1929, it started as an A&P. When they first came into town, there was 12 little independent grocers, similar to the one I told you about growing up, that went out of business. They were the original Walmart. They went in and just put all these guys out of business. They were the original like mega store. And ironically, now fast forward almost 100 years, we're operating it there, and we're the little guy fighting the mega stores that are going in all around us. It's kind of funny how it's come full circle. The bully has become the guy trying to survive, but it all from the same building.
Market keeps changing, and they keep, it's just amazing when you think about ways to be competitive. Creating private label is a big deal, and there's an opportunity there. And the market continues to change. We're seeing that, which we'll talk a little more about in this week's trends. But there's just a lot changing in the market, and if you're not up on the changes, you're gonna be the dinosaur that didn't make it.
Yeah, I mean, Dad always said you gotta grow or die, and you gotta grow your sales. You gotta either grow your sales or your profit, or you gotta decrease your costs. You gotta grow that revenue every year, one way or another. in order to keep up with all the fixed overhead that goes up, the insurances, the taxes, all the regulations. I mean, the utilities, all that goes up. So every year is a pressure to perform and to continue to evolve. And, I think what happens sometimes is you've seen it too. Like some of these companies, they like overcook it. They over try to evolve. They try to do too much at once. And then maybe it doesn't work, whatever they were working on, and then it causes them to collapse. You see that a lot with different. Who would think, for instance, Blockbuster Video?
Mm-hmm.
They were the first people. They were the first company to invest in digital. They had huge investment in digital. They had groundbreaking achievement in digital because they over invested in it before people were ready for it and didn't have a plan for how to implement it. They overinvested in it, and it was one of the reasons that caused their demise.
Oh, I know. You gotta do it strategically. You gotta take pieces of the puzzle and then make it better every year. And then you can't, like to your point, you can't change so much that you lose the foundation of what made your company successful.
Yeah.
And you see that with so many different companies. I mean, at one point, I think Netflix was gonna get had a chance. Blockbuster had a chance to buy out Netflix, and Netflix just smoked them. The red box.
I think I remember seeing that. Yeah. They had a chance, and then they ended up killing them. And when they first came out, it was like, who's going to get their movies out of a box? But it was great at the time. It was great. You didn't have to go in and interact with anybody. You didn't have to deal with anybody. It was pretty clean.
Low overhead.
No
employees other than your service managers. But
yeah,
I mean, it was close.
But one thing that we've done a great job at, I think, is within our budget. And it's kind of like a blessing that we're small and our budget is only this much because it forces us to really hone in on what we feel like, okay, this is a good next step. It's going to help us, but it's safe. It's solid. Like, I think our budget is kind of like an advantage in that it forces us to really just invest each year in what we think is going to be something that is going to help us almost immediately, but at the same time prepare us for the future. You've been a big part of that. I mean, tell everybody what you're working on right now at our Leechburg store. I mean, you got a master plan.
I'm not sure if it's master, but we're working on something where, we talk about like the gingerbread. So when you talk about gingerbread, you're talking about what does the outside look like? What does the customer see? That's where you really want to spend most of your money. Obviously, there's utilities and things of that nature you have to upgrade, rooftop units, compressors, grinders, all kinds of different things you don't see that cost a lot of money. But, to have the biggest impact, the customer has to see it. And to have the ability to know what the customer wants. And we know what Leechburg wants. Leechburg wants the ability to have more food options.
Market study. We utilize the market study from our supplier, which anybody that's in business should utilize any market study they can get their hands on.
Right. And we're talking about what Leechburg has a lot of. Leechburg has a lot of over service in the alcohol industry, which I like to call professional drinker.
I love that.
Drinker. I mean, it sounds like like you're good at something.
Yeah, it really gives that person that's struggling. It gives them a little note of class to it, and a little compassion to the situation, and
you're working towards a goal. You're professional.
Towards a goal. Yeah.
So, looking at options to incorporate food service in our grocery store and create opportunity. Not only for that, but if you find, we're going to find some more people to help us in that field to provide those meals, to create opportunities where you can come and eat and have a great time. So now that's what we're working on Leechburg. Looking forward to that. A lot of great things happening there. And
that's not an easy thing. You're glossing over it. Like it involves resetting the entire store. It involves looking at what items aren't working in the store, getting reports back from our warehouse and suppliers saying, okay, these are selling good, these are not selling good, picking them apart, cutting out aisles, investing in equipment, investing in cases, strategically, investing in people and resources that are going to prepare all the food, and then implementing the system. It's a big undertaking. Easy. But the thing is that like we know that if we don't do those things, we're going to eventually fall behind. We're not going to grow. We're not going to be able to meet that wave of costs, and eventually it's going to put us out of business. So the more we can continue to think like that and stretch like that and take, educated investments, the better. And, one thing in our business that people should be aware of is how the dynamic of the brotherly situation. It's not always like, "Oh, hi, how are you? Oh, I'm good. How are you? Oh, I'm really good." No, a lot of times it's like, "What the are you talking about? Like, are you serious right now? You're gonna talk to me like that? I could run 100 stores. What are you talking to me like that?" Or, "Oh my God, I just designed a freaking store that's doing crazy volume, super successful. Are you questioning what we're gonna do here?" No, it's a lot of like, but it leads, and we respect each other, and we respect each other's opinions, and it leads to what we have now, to our end product. A lot of times it's not easy. You talked about not having being able to have difficult, uncomfortable decisions with people.
No, with us it's really easy.
Important.
It's really easy. You put two lions in a room and they don't actually eat each other. They eat others.
Yeah,
Struck.
that's a great analogy. They might roar at each other back and forth, but they're not going to eat each other.
No. They need each other. They need each other because eventually they're going to get old and they don't want to be put out to pasture with the other big old lions.
Yeah.
No. When you're talking about like uncomfortable conversations, I mean, I've been called direct too many times, but sometimes when you're handling a situation, there's a certain thing that needs to be said, and everybody knows what needs to be said. And, to say it with tact is important, but to understand that you got to say it. You got to say it, and you got to stand behind, and you can't let what's going on in your life, what's going on in the store, affect that relationship or that decision. Because at the end of the day, I don't care who it is. When the wolves come crawling at the gates of Rome, you are the last soldier that's going to stand there. Everybody else will be gone. You're the last person. And the failure of the city, the failure of the store starts and ends with you.
Yeah. I mean, you can't say, all you can say is like, when you're the leader, your keister is on the line every day. So yeah, you got to have the uncomfortable conversations, but you need to find a partner that you can really trust and that you can work towards things with. Like you and I have developed that over the course of our 40 years of living together. I mean, it isn't always rainbows and butterflies, but at the same time, whenever we come to a point, we always figure out a way to work through it. And sometimes it's like elevated and sometimes it's calm, but we always figure out a way to work through it. And we've evolved into where you do certain things really well. We know that I can't do, technology, store layouts, new ideas, sometimes when more direct approach is needed. That's you. And then for me, sometimes when it's a little softer approach or more explanatory approach is needed, that's me. With the ad work and with the kind of retail logistical things, that's kind of my strength. The marketing and the social aspect of it, we kind of work together on it, using our strength, combining our strength. But it's important for people out there that are in business or that are in partnerships. Look at your partner as a partner. Try to look at it and be self-evaluate and realize, what am I good at? Don't just be like, I'm good at everything. You're not gonna tell me what to do. We tried that for a while. That sucks. That didn't work. This
it's not fun. It's not fun.
This works though.
It kind of works.
Oh, we're here.
Maybe.
We're here telling people stuff.
No, it works. You just gotta, the thing is you gotta, it's hard to take ego aside when ego is what you work off of. And I don't mean work off of as like a negative thing. I mean, being proud of what you are and who you are and how you stand for it. So you got to be able to understand that, even though that you might be right in that situation, you're having that hard conversation, when it comes to your partner, you got to treat it with a little bit different etiquette than you would if you're just talking to somebody you're doing business with.
And you might be wrong. There's times where I've been like, thought I was right. And then all of a sudden, realized I was wrong.
So Ryan, this week, I know your story is going to be interesting. I saw the cliff notes, but I'm really excited because it involves a little bit of Gunsmoke.
Yeah. Last week's story was fun to tell. This week's story is fun to tell too, because, when you think about retail and you think about stress and you think about what that does to a man or a woman, individual, what it does to somebody, stress takes normal situations and creates opportunities for those normal situations to become just wild situations. And our friend Reggie was operating a store in Erie, downtown Erie, rough section of Erie. This was circa early 90s, early 1990s. Downtown Erie. Reggie's running the store. It's a tough store. He wanted to get into retail. So, when you want to get into retail, just like dad and mom, when they wanted to get into retail, you got to find stores that thriving stores are not for sale. Or if they are, big corporations they're scooping them up. So usually you have to get into a store that either the owner wants to get out or they're not quite doing very well. And you come in, you interject some life, and you get them going. So Reggie took over the store in downtown Erie, rougher section of town. So precautionary, he got a gun permit, he got a handgun, and he carried. Because it was a rough section of town. It was this section of Erie that people, got killed, murders. I mean, it was a rough section. But the store had serious potential. So he worked at it, and got it to be a pretty decent store. Well, just like we know, things can go from in retail very good to very bad very quickly. And market conditions, competition moving in, kind of just started beating this little store up. And we've seen that in some of the stores that had closed. So Reggie, all of a sudden he's at this store that he's working million hours a week. It's a rough section of town. A lot of turnover with the employees, a lot of theft. And he's just struggling. He was just struggling. The poor guy was just struggling. He, all of a sudden, one day, in the midst of the struggles, he was at the store and he couldn't take it. He just couldn't take it anymore. He needed to go home. And he's like, normally he was a grinder, old school. He start at 5 a.m., take a 20-minute coffee break, if that, and go over reports during the coffee break, and then go home at like 6 o'clock. We can relate to that. And so Reggie, one day decides, hey, I'm going to cut out a little early. 2, 3 o'clock came around. He couldn't take it. He needed a break. Realized he needed a break. This was before cell phones. This is before everybody had trackers on everybody and texting and all this stuff. So he just goes home. Just figures to surprise the wife. He stopped. He got some wine. He figured, hey, have a little wine before dinner, hang out with the wife, kind of wine. Forget about this place for a little bit. We've all been there. Gets home. Gets in the parks, pulls in, gets in the door, shoes down, and Reggie, all of a sudden, he notices that there's either a pretty violent wrestling match going on upstairs, or
something's happening.
Yeah, I mean, somebody has a friend up there. More than likely his wife, since they were the only two living there at the time. So, so Reggie, what are you going to do at that point? What do you do? If you're Reggie and you're on the verge of a mental breakdown because of this store not working, gets it ready. Doesn't know what he's going to encounter.
No. He
Gets it
doesn't
ready.
draw. He draws?
Goes up the stairs. Noise continues. Noise is happening. Bashing. A little bit of on the wall, a little knocking on the wall. Opens the door. Looks in. Boom.
No.
Yeah. Wife. Replacement for Reggie. Doing what adults do in the afternoon.
Insert substitution.
Yeah, music. Well, Reggie, right in the middle of the act. Now, here's the thing. If you're a normal person under normal circumstances and that happens, I think a lot of people just get shocked. Maybe some people start crying, maybe run out of the house, get away from the situation, Reggie, though, being under the stress and everything going through his mind, grabs the gun, points, and instantly starts opening fire.
With his wife there?
Wife and new Reggie, fully in their birthday suits.
Right, but he pulled the gun out.
Yeah.
He started blasting with his wife there.
Yeah.
So obviously he had intentions for his wife.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though. Somehow, during this, I don't think he intended to kill anybody. I think he was trying to scare them because, let's face it, he's point blank away.
Yeah.
He had the firearm. He had training in the firearm, registered firearm. People that have registered firearms generally from 5 feet away don't miss 3 or 4 times. So I think he hit the wall to scare them.
Right.
So drops the gun, goes downstairs, sits. Obviously, people calling the police. You know, you hear gunshots at 3:00 in the afternoon, central area. Police come, arrest Reggie. But guess what? Wife didn't press charges. Nobody was hurt. The new Reggie, didn't press any charge. Reggie, because he went upstairs and because it was right away, he saw it. Crime of passion.
Wait, so he didn't get any charges?
No, not one thing on his record.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Not one thing on Reggie's record. So, okay, so Reggie and wife, start figuring out their issues. New Reggie exits. Seemingly everything's okay with Reggie and the missus.
He's back, baby.
They get by it. I'm sure with a lot of therapy, a lot of work.
Right.
They move forward. Reggie uses the therapy, refocuses on the store, does the things we talked about earlier in the episode, thinks, okay, what can I do here that I'm not doing now? How can I make it better? And so Reggie's working the store, grinding the store, working on the wife relationship. Everything seems to be much better for Reggie. But Genuine PA Skill Games, powered by Pacematic and supported by PA Skill Alliance, are dedicated to fostering growth throughout the Commonwealth. These games have been instrumental in supporting local fraternal orders, fire companies, bars, and retailers by keeping businesses operational, maintaining employment, and funding community projects. With over 5,000 communities across Pennsylvania, it's highly probable that Genuine PA Skill Games are working hard behind the scenes in your area. They ensure the vitality of our main streets, restaurants, bars, and stores. By supporting PASkillAlliance.org, you are investing time in your community, employing your neighbors, and contributing to local nonprofits. Together, we can help keep Main Street open for business. Happens, some bad financial things happen, some bad luck with some tax situations. Again, just so competitive. Everything's so competitive everywhere, but especially in that Erie market, there's just people everywhere. And employee theft in that particular area was a depressed area. It was customer theft. It was just rough. So Reggie stressed that again. And the crazy thing, he had the gun for protection. He had a gun for protection. So Reggie stressed out again. Well, one late morning, Reggie's in his office, which is in the front of the store, like most offices. Front of the store, office, your office in Saxburg's like that, Leechburg office like that. Like you have your office, then you go into the registers right there. It's an old style store, pretty small store, so everything's pretty close quarters. Normal transactions, beep, beep, beep out front. Everybody's just ringing people up. Reggie is in his office working on stuff, stressed out, just wondering how he's going to pay his bills. Next thing you know, he hears this like just chaotic thrashing at the registers. Like just one of the cashiers is screaming at this guy, like, hey, you're not doing that. Get the guy. Here, Reggie's head cashier, like I said, it was a little tougher area. This head cashier, this guy came through armed. Guy came through armed. He must have been strung out because he wasn't going for the office saver. Came through the register, put the gun to the girl and said, give me all your money in the register. Register one. The girl, think about how most people would react to that. Give them the money, right? Just give them the money. Hope you don't hurt anybody. Don't make eye contact. Get them out of the store. If you got to lose it, you got to lose it. This girl, he went to put his hand in the register. Somehow he sat the gun down or had the gun laying. It's hard to say, but the gun wasn't in position to shoot at this point. I don't know if he didn't feel threatened or whatever. Reaches his hand in the cash register drawer. She freaking slams the drawer on his fingers. has his hand in the register. Reggie's in the office and hears this screaming. Here's the guy screaming in pain. Here's him threatening her with the gun. She won't get his hand out. She's rolling the dice that he's not going to shoot her. He didn't shoot her. He's got the gun now. Reggie, being Reggie, stressed out Reggie with a history of not being afraid to pull the trigger, comes out, pulls the gun, and aims at the register, at this guy, shoots 3 times. The guy's flustered, gets his hand out, and doesn't return fire, and just runs out of the store. I mean, I think he was just surprised, didn't know where I don't know. He was just shocked. I don't know why he didn't return fire. Reggie hit him twice. Hit him once in the side, and hit him once, I think, in the leg. Guy goes out of the store, follows him out of the store with a gun, doesn't shoot any more shots. Guy, this was in Erie. They end up catching this guy at a hospital in Boston. He made it to Boston, and here he was just a road criminal. He made it to Boston, and finally he couldn't take it anymore. He was bleeding. He had to turn himself into the hospital. They tracked it, figured out he was the same guy that was called in Erie, arrested the guy, did time, whatever. Again, though, guy had a weapon. Guy was threatening employee. Reggie impulsively reacted right away. Crime of passion. No time.
In a situation like with Reggie, there's been some wild times in everybody's lives, but like to draw and fire on a human twice. Not only, here's my question though. Obviously, he wasn't that great with a pistol because he missed twice.
Did he, or was he just trying to? Like disarm the guy? Do you think that a part of him was like, I don't want to kill this guy? Do you think subliminally? Again, we're not talking about a long shot.
Right.
We're talking about even a register one, you come out, 7 feet, 10 feet,
Yeah.
12, 15 feet max? It's 5 yards.
But we may never know, but I mean, just the whole idea. And the fact is that, obviously the guy was struggling. Now, is the store still around?
I believe that store closed. I don't think if it is a store, it's a Dollar General.
Okay.
It's a smaller format. Like
Got out.
he got out. Actually, he got out and he revived his career as a salesman. That's how we got to know him. He was a salesman, a retail counselor. I mean, I think you remember he gave speeches at times.
Yeah.
And I believe him and his wife ended up being. I think it's like a happily ever after story.
Well, of course she'd work it out. Can you imagine if she didn't work it out? She's gonna get blasted.
That's a valid point. I mean, and not only are you worried about getting shot, but you're worried about getting shot from a guy that's got away with it twice.
I mean, talk about the funniest thing ever.
Yeah,
Talk about a gun to your head.
literally, like operating with a gun to your head. You want to go to counseling tonight? Yeah, sure. I'll do whatever you want to do.
I got 15 kidney stones, but we're gonna work this shit out. I'm gonna with you at the meeting.
Funny, he still carries a gun.
They didn't take his license away?
No, he got no charges. He got arrested the first time and held, but the charges were never formally brought to him because neither his wife or the new Reggie wanted to press charges.
You gotta wonder if he carries the same gun.
I mean, he's familiar with it.
It's probably it's like, I'm thrifty. I'm gonna carry the same gun. There's been 2 probable cause incidents,
Yeah.
but now we're good.
Yeah. I mean, it's just such a unique situation, but it goes back to like the stress of retail management. Anybody you talk to in retail, that whether they're managing a store, whether they're working for a store, it can be a very stressful environment. We always tell all the time the things that get us through it is the people and the stories. And that's why it's so cool to be able to do this podcast, because we're able to tell these stories, tell these tales. It's like therapy for us. But at the same time, the stories are what gets you through and builds relationships with the people.
Understanding the past is understanding the future. And to your point, you gotta understand that everybody has their own demons and they carry a different thing. I think our grandfather once said this. He said, everybody carries weight. Some of us carry timbers, some of us carry toothpicks, but always. And so understanding that, how to deal with that and understanding, there's going to be some problems out there, but hopefully I never get to the point where I'm pulling my pistol in.
I hope not either. I mean, it does get stressful. I mean, let's face it, this last quarter has been very stressful for various reasons. Some under our control, some out of our control. But, I mean, at no point.
No, I'm not pistol whipping anybody.
You never judge somebody until you're in their shoes.
But he's the kind of guy that walks in a room, everybody's like, the pen is muddier than the sword. He's like, he never saw a 45.
Right. But he's a great guy.
No, he's a good dude.
That's the thing that's what makes the story so funny, is that if you knew Reggie, he's just like this solid, normal guy that you're going to see front row in church, that you're going to see, at the bar having a couple casual drinks, never getting out of sorts, telling stories, laughing, joking.
He's a guy. He's another guy.
Great guy.
Yeah.
But, don't catch Reggie on a bad day. So, Doug, that's a crazy story. You got a story for the crowd.
Before we get to that, though, it is Retail Trends of the Week. Well, it's a wild world. As we can see, the shopper keeps changing, right? Yeah. You've seen it. We've seen it. The hourglass, they call it the value hourglass, which is the customer polarization in their spending habits. So imagine in the old days, you had the high-end retail shops, you had the middle, which was most of the buying, and then you had discounters, right? Economy's changing, interest rates are up, inflation, yada, 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 yada. You're now seeing more of an hourglass as far as the retail market. You see this extremely heavy high-end, and you see this extremely heavy discount market. So back to our boy, Reggie. Reggie was stuck in that middle ground. He's in that real tight, narrow window in the middle ground of the super high-end business and the discount stores, because he's still in that format, the A&P format. Was.
He's doing fine now. Reggie's doing
Yeah, he's doing good.
Yeah.
He's good.
Anyways, I'm sorry. Go
ahead. So we're seeing that in the market, and so you're seeing it like back to the A&P days. You're seeing a lot of private label being more popular. You're seeing people kind of go away from the name national brands and going towards, in a grocery retail or any retail, more of, I need this item, I don't care who made it kind of attitude. And the problem, though, with that is that they're expecting the same quality that they used to get in that name brand.
Yeah. I see it too. I mean, I just had a guy today that's been a long-term customer, and he texted me, he said, can you do any better on the ground meat price? Because this is what I paid last time, and it seemed really high. Well, the person was getting premium, perfect Angus, like premium stuff. So the cost of that's went crazy. We've tried to hold the cost as much as possible. Now, we gave them other options and stuff like that. But to your point, like customers, they don't want to spend the money, but they want the same results.
I wanted to buy a goose for Christmas. Guess how much gooses cost per pound?
I've never seen it for sale.
It's gonna blow your mind. Just throw a number out there.
Honestly, before when you just told me to begin with, I would have guessed $9.99 a pound. Is that what it is? No way! Oh my God, I win!
Gong! So you get the prize.
Wow.
I know, right?
That's what I'd have guessed.
But think about this.
I mean, it's a specialty item. I've never seen it for sale.
Christmas goose, you hear it in Grinch.
Yeah.
All the old stories of the Christmas goose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
funny.
It's like a gamey turkey. Oof.
Yeah, why would you want that?
I was thinking about it, though. I was going to serve it this year at Christmas dinner, but like big money. You're talking about for like a 10-pound average, it's literally $100 cost.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It's crazy because it's not even steak. We talk about the impact of, the market, the hourglass effect.
PA Skill players seek genuine PA Skill games. How can you tell the real from the imitation? The PA Skill Alliance offers a 4-step identification process to help you find genuine PA Skill games. 1. Check for logos. Does the machine display official Pennsylvania Skill Game logos? 2. Look for Powered by Pace-O-Matic. Is it Powered by Pace-O-Matic visible on the game's case? 3. Assess business reputation. Is the game a reputable business? Genuine PA Skill games were not intended to be standalone businesses. 4. Examine game style. Is it a tic-tac-toe style game that offers the option to win every time? Help combat fraudulent skill games by exclusively playing genuine PA Skill Alliance supported games. Discover more at paskillalliance.org.
And so I take it back to a time when I used to work at a home improvement store, and I was there and I was a department manager. My job was to take the keys and do, back then we didn't have a machine. We actually had to cut the keys. So when we were cutting the keys, I actually had to, like, not the old fashioned grind it yourself, but I still had to cut keys and I had to redo lock.
How does that work? I
Wait a
always
minute.
wondered about that.
Like a lock?
Yeah, like a key. Like, how do they know? Like, how do you know?
Oh, it's a pin size. So the pin size is a number 0 through 9. And so the pin size is that little notch in the key. That represents a pin size. And so what it does is that when you put the key into the lock, it's a cylinder. It's a circle. It's a cylinder. And so if the pins are pushed just right, they clear so it can spin. And that's when the lock spins. And if the key's wrong, it basically, the pin sticks up or it doesn't go down right, and then you can't turn the lock.
So when you shove in, when you see people picking the locks, they're trying to manipulate the pins.
They're pushing the pins up.
Okay.
And so they push the pins up, they hold it, push the pin up, hold it, and there's usually 5 pins. They push all the pins up, and then it spins the cylinder. But I mean, you gotta have dexterity for days.
I was gonna say that's a lot of man.
I'm a department manager. At the time where the store was, I was right near the front of the store. So like, you'd come in the front door, and I'd be the first smiling face you see. Most time, like, they have lighting there now, or like the home garden place, the tractors and blowers and whatever else, weed whackers. But I was the first guy you saw, so I was always, I was the ear to the information. And across me was the manager's office, and so at the time they had PSAs or product service associates, which were not directly related to like facing the shelves and things of that nature. They were like facility people. They did the bathrooms, they took out the trash.
Monster man.
Yeah, they caught everything. So I was there, and I never forget, there was this lady that was in the lunchroom. She was different. She was, she's been there. She was a foundation member. She was there literally for 20 years at a corporate hardware store. 20 years. So when I got there, I met her and I talked to her, but she was kind of different. I mean, she would just flip out, and she didn't like noise. So she always had like ear protection on, even when she was just doing normal stuff like ear protection. So I'm there one day, and 3 aisles over is where they keep like the paints, but they also keep like the home cleaning supplies. So imagine a whole pallet of Tide sitting on a rack. And this is kind of scary too. So whoever set the pallet was trying to get a pallet beside it and used the forks and bumped it. And when they bumped it, the whole pallet came crashing down of Tide. Like 60 cases of Tide came crashing down. It blew up, ruptured.
How many stories?
2. 2 stories up, comes down, blows up, puts probably an inch to 2 inch of blue goo. I mean, 60 feet.
Oh.
It's all over the place. So I'm there and I hear the commotion. I walk over, I throw some wet floor signs up, and I block the aisle. And so all of a sudden, here comes the PSA lady. She's like, "Oh, I got this." And I'm like, "Okay." So I went back over to my little department. And at this point, nothing's really going on. And then all of a sudden, I see this foam, and I'm like, "What is this foam?" And it clicks. It clicks. So here I go back over, and this PSA, grab the floor scrubber, not the one you push, the one you ride. And what does it do? It adds water, it adds friction with a brush, and vacuuming.
Put on scrub mode.
Full scrub mode.
Oh.
And her idea was that she was going to use it to suck up all the Tide, right?
Should have put it in the right mode. It would have been all right.
It wasn't all right.
Oh.
It wasn't all right. Literally, Ryan, going back and forth. Every time she go back and forth, she would create like 3 feet of foam. And so the foam at this point was not only over that aisle, it was 5 aisles over in my aisle. It was near the front end. And here comes the manager. The manager comes out and looks at me over at the key desk. And he's like, "Dude." I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Over in paint out." So he goes flying over in paint out. And here's the PSA, back and forth, ear protection in. He's yelling at her, "Stop the machine! Stop the machine!" She won't stop, and she can't hear him. He had to literally run through the foamy blue mess, which at this point,
Probably slipping and slide.
oh, he fell over twice. Everybody's watching. This is before we had phones where we actually take videos. It'd been a great video.
Everybody would have been.
Great video.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, "Stop the machine!" He jumps up on it. He grabs the wheel, turns the key off. He's like, "Ah." And she's like, "What? What? What's going on? What?" And it was so fun. It was so funny. So flash forward, right before I left, it was weeks later. So this isn't. I mean,
Well, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Okay, so how did you clean it up?
we had to get like
I mean,
we had to literally like scrape as much as we could into boxes, throw the boxes out, come back, and then use this like degreaser stuff to like get down and basically pull it out of the concrete to get it all up. I mean, it took like a day to clean up, and it was a nightmare because that store was one of the highest volume stores. I mean, it was doing 70+ million back in that time a year.
thankfully nobody was below.
Oh, no, that's my biggest fear on walking this big box store.
It gives me the heebie-jeebies, man. When I see all this, I'm just like, we're one bad, tremor away from catastrophe.
Lights out. So we flash forward weeks later. Same situation, same characters. We have the same ASM assistant store manager in his office, and we have the PSA lady, and she is back in action. So we were at that time transitioning. So people don't realize that big stores, they think of all these people getting employed. It's like 20 to 10% full-time people, and then the rest is seasonal help as it needs. So you have a lot of people always getting trained. And at this time, we were really short on cashiers, so they put the PSA lady on the register, the head cashier position. And I'm over there, and I can still see the head cashier, and I can still see the office manager's position. And I'm sitting there making keys, whatever I was doing. And all of a sudden, I hear on the intercom, "Hi, everybody, get out of the store right now. There's a fire. There's a big fire. Everybody needs to get out of the store right now." And all of a sudden, I'm like, "What is happening? What is happening?" I look over, I see the manager come flying out. I'm running towards the front to see what's going on to assist. I mean, customers are knocking each other over. There's cars being left in the aisle. There's paint being spilled. I mean, it's a nightmare.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Right.
Because you don't know where it is.
Nobody knows where it is.
Yeah.
The best part, though, so right past the cash registers is the double doors. The double doors go right into the parking lot. Here, somebody parked their car illegally right outside the main door, and it caught fire. So there's a fiery car, and this lady's screaming for everybody to get out of the store. So the manager yells at me. He's like, "Get a fire extinguisher." And so I grab the fire extinguisher from the safety area. I run towards the fire to help him. Meanwhile, he's trying to get and this lady's still yelling, "Everybody out of the store, bad store, bad store, bad store." He's still trying to get her off the intercom. She's still on the intercom. She won't be quiet.
Does she still have her headphones on?
Oh, of course. Of course. So he runs up and he's like, he like yanks it out of her hand. And he's like, "Everybody, for your safety, please stay in the store." So now everybody's confused. They're like, is a fire in the store or outside the store? Meanwhile, this car is totally engulfed. I mean, it's going to touch the gas tank at any given second and be a bomb. I mean, it's a BMW, but it was totally like a movie. Fire everywhere. It's on fire. It's insane. So
I feel like the fire department should be called.
no, they automatically get dispatched. Once the fire alarm gets pulled, they get dispatched because it's in the city.
Okay.
So I'm there, and so I'm rolling out this fire extinguisher. He's over there trying, a fire extinguisher like this size. He's trying to put out this car.
This is outside of D.C.
This is outside D.C.
Yeah.
He's trying to put the car fire out. Meanwhile, the lady's there, and he takes the phone off her. And he's like, "Everybody, please stay in the store. There's a fire outside the main entrance. We ask you please stay in the store." Customers are taking stuff. People are coming in and out. It is chaos. It is chaos. The fire department shows up, puts it out. Meanwhile, so like after these 2 weeks of crazy festivities, I'm sitting.
This is within 2 weeks.
This is like 2 weeks. He goes out and we get all put out. And so we get all put out, and then so mind you, like the Monday after is always the big manager meeting, right? And I'm sitting in the back, and this guy that was from electrical, we're always talking to each other. He looked like a miniature version of not Han Solo, but Luke Skywalker, like a real version. That was weird. It looked just like just like Mark Hamill. We're sitting back there, and we always make jokes and side remarks because, like, what else are you gonna do? You work in a hardware store, and the store manager's there, the district manager's there, and safety manager from the districts. Everybody's there, and they're all doing this presentation. And they're talking about like what you need to do, and so then they usually they don't bring the crew members in, but they brought the PSA into this meeting just so that she understands what you need to do moving forward. Yeah. And they're like, "So, hey guys, we had some issues over the last couple of weeks. What do we do when there's a fire?" It's like, we don't send them towards the bomb, that's for sure. No. Lights were on, but nobody home.
That is scary. Sometimes in retail, people with that kind of personality are really good for business and for getting things done because they're super dependable. They like repetition. And usually they like staying busy, staying active. but sometimes there's not that next level of thought process or awareness. So when you get them in that kind of situation, I mean, it's like, I mean, that's I could feel for the manager. I mean, just the powerlessness in both situations of seeing the train going towards the ravine, the tracks being broken, and nothing you can really do to stop it.
Right.
Either way.
I think they made her get cars for like 5 weeks.
Okay.
I think they tried to keep her away from any kind of like major position, but like it was crazy the stuff that happened to that store. And I was just there trying to cut keys. I'm just there just trying to fiddle with my little locks, and all this stuff's happening. And it's funny if you look at the stores now. If you go into the big box stores that I used to work at, there's no desk anymore because they don't want witnesses.
Oh yeah, yeah. They don't want anybody seeing.
Now,
Well, you think about a store like that, a massive hardware store, you know, whether it be a Lowe's or Home Improvement or anything like that, Walmart to a certain extent. You think about all the products that are in those stores that could be, you know, in a scene of what was the guy that started making drugs and bombs?
oh, Breaking Bad.
You think about all the things that are in those big box stores, those big hardware stores, those big retail stores that can be used to make a bomb or that can be used to make drugs. And you think about, they're all there. They're one mistake away from, I mean, it's kind of crazy that more stories like what you just said don't happen because there's just so many things that can happen when you have people, a bunch of people in an area with that many things that can be used as whether it's on purpose or not, be used as just like a detonator.
Oh, don't worry. I literally saved all the stories, so it's like 15 episodes of this telling just those kind of stories.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I was there for almost 2 years, a year and a half. I was here for a year and a half, and it got to the point where like they're like, Doug, you're really calm under pressure. I'm like, I'm a grocer. I'm used to this.
Yeah.
They're like, we think you could be store manager material, and I'm like, huh? And they're like, yeah, we think you could be store manager material. I'm like, nope, moving home.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in charge of that circus
Those guys, I mean, they make good money, but they're earning it.
every day.
And the hours they put in are usually wicked. I mean, even for our standards, I mean, you know, when you're in small business, you know, you accept no matter what small business you're in, you talk to any small business owner that's successful, you're putting in hours. But I mean, those guys, I've heard stories about Walmart managers that work 11 hours a day. And then, you know, on Saturday they go in and they have to work 8 hours. And then, you know, Sundays, sometimes they're off.
Thank you so much for listening this week. Thank you. We're on all the channels. Thank you for following, liking, sharing. Am I missing anywhere on?
No, check us out. I mean, we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on all the channels. So check us out. Throw those follows. We got a lot of people that are liking us, but we don't have a lot of people that are following. So hit the follow. It really helps us. Hit the follow. What about our great sponsors?
And follow us like our friends at PA Skill Alliance. Guys, start today. Be a better player, be a skilled player, and be a winner. It's as easy. All you need to do is check out the website at paskillalliance.org.
Hey, thanks for all the support, everyone.
Can't
do what we do.
Out you.
Come and see us.
Woo!
See you next time.
Gong the shh.
Does it feel good?
Gong at one time.
How about now with the audio?
Hold it so it's real loud.
Not ready.
Hold it so it doesn't fly over.
Wait. We got to do it again.
Can you hold the gong and hit it really loud, please? No, hold the gong.
Shove his gong up.
Put your right hand on the gong.